Welcome, folks. Appreciate you growling and prowling with us out here. Sorry about that glitch, folks. Dow Industrials right now up 78. You get the Nasdaq up 40. S&P's up 9.5. Gold contract up $22, trading $19.16 an ounce. You get silver up 57 cents, $24.70 an ounce. Light sweet crude up 70 cents at 305.20. We get notes and bonds. See if you can get Joe, okay? You get notes and bonds. You get 10-year note flat, 139.07. The 30-year up 6 ticks at 175.12. And King Dollar. King Dollar right now down 235 ticks, trading out at 93.297. The euro is at 117. The yen is at 105.20. And the British pound is at 130 to 1 U.S. dollar. Market-wise out here, bottom line, folks, we'll see what the NDX 100 can do for the NDX 100. The strength inside the NDX 100 today is you get Baidu up 5.5%, you get Qualcomm up 3.5%, Tesla's up 2.7%, and you get IDEX Pharmaceutical up 2%. Taken away from it, Splunk is down 4.7%. You got T-Mobile down 2.6%, Zoom is off 2.5%, and Illumina is off 2.4%. We get over and we take a look at Apple, because the bottom line is that when you take a look at Apple, Apple is running. There's these markets. There's no two ways about that. Apple right now is up, trading up $1.46, and we'll see how this just shakes out. You know, Apple had a huge gain on Monday, goes all the way up to 125, gave it up from 125 yesterday, came all the way back down to 119. Now the bottom line is it's oscillating around that 120 area. Some of the higher volume equities in this market, and this is going to more than likely be another low volume market. You have Tesla's. Tesla's up $11. That got some juice underneath it. Cernto Therapeutics is off $1.68. We have Allscripts up $2.47. Bed Bath & Beyond is up $1.90. DraftKings is down $1.35. And now we get a treat for you, folks. You got to love it. We get our man, Mr. Joe DiNapoli. From Coast Investments, DiNapoli Levels. Joe DiNapoli, what's going on?
Tommy.
I love it, man. I'm telling you, man. And listen, folks, okay, if you would listen to Larry's show, Joe was on Larry's show this morning, and bottom line, it's a real treat. Joe is walking us through market structure. So first off, man, how you been?
Well, I've had my ups and downs. I'm still kicking. I'm trading every day. I'm focused on the market. Do you remember the last time we saw each other? I was just curious if you remember. I don't know how many. It must have been 15 years.
I think it's 20. You were at my house, and we were basically having some food when you said the German Shepherd. You know, it's so funny, Joe. I have another one. That one was Awesome. That was his name, Prince Awesome O'Brien. This one is Harley. And it's so funny because I bring him to work, and at times he sticks his head in the camera, man. It's hilarious.
Two things stand out. Three things, actually. Of course, the good company, but your pool, I remember, and the delicious steaks. But the dog was, I hate to say this, the dog was a feature. I mean, I love that dog you had.
No, I know, man. I know that dog was something else, man. This is the seventh. So this is the 7th German Shepherd I've had, you know. So I've had them since you and I were freshmen at Boston Tech. How's that? Isn't that sick?
I mean, I grew up with one, 6, 7, 8 years old. I have a dog now. You know, they're a gift from God to us.
Yeah.
They just make life so much better.
Hey, listen to this, man. You're going to love this. That there's so many tigers that are still around like us, okay? One of them in the trading room right now is saying hi from, and he remembers you when we did the workshop down the Sheridan Sand Key. Isn't that wild?
I remember that. I remember that. It was a good workshop. I remember that.
Yeah.
You know, the last time we saw each other was not at your house. It was just a certain amount of time after that.
Yeah.
It was in a taxi line at the Las Vegas airport. We were both doing a Traders Expo show.
Okay.
And you were ahead of me by about 50 people, and I remembered you looked so pressed and presentable, and I looked like a rag. And that was actually the last time I saw you. We had no time to talk during the show. We were so busy.
That's right. No, so were you going back to Thailand then? Oh, you come back to Florida?
Well, I'm in Florida now.
Okay.
I had to evacuate Thailand, or I wouldn't have gotten out at all. And I can't get back in there because they're not letting anybody back in.
I see. Okay. Okay. Wild, man. I'm telling you. And folks,
I love it over there. You know, being over there in Asia, I get up at noontime, and I can see what European markets are doing, what the overnight session's doing, and then I start trading about 8 o'clock, and I go until 3 or 4 in the morning, depending upon daylight savings time, and it's perfect for me because, you know, I'm alert and awake every night at midnight, 12, 1, 2. So if I ever feel like taking the night off, I can go out to the bars and have a good time.
And, you know, folks, if you've never got Joe's book, it's The Napoli Levels. It's a phenomenal book. It's one of the first books that I ever got. And, you know, Joe knows the story. I used to sit there, man, between his book and then once I understood that all those pyramids of Fibonacci numbers, man, I mean, for years I just remember sitting on the floor because I like sitting on the floor going through these all. And, you know, you double repo. At this Tiger Network, Joe, I want you to know that you have a lot of folks that not only understand what you do, these double repos, one host in particular, David White, there he knows them upside down. He's been teaching a lot of other people because that double repo is something else, man. And we've got a lot of them, you know, in this marketplace, man, which is pretty wild. Here, Joe, stay right there. We just got a quick break. I want you to walk us through. We're talking about market structure, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Stay right there, folks. Tom O'Brien, Joe DiNapoli. You can reach Joe, folks, at Coast Investment. Dow up 64, NASDAQ up 29, S&P's up 7. We'll come right back.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. Joe Giannopoli, Tom O'Brien. We do appreciate you growling a problem with us out here. We have the Dow Industrials up 47. NASDAQ is up 19. S&Ps are up 6. And, folks, you can reach Joe at fibnodes.com. That's FIBNODES.com. So fibnodes.com. Joe, what we're going to do is this. We are not going to do commercials in the next break, so we're going to really get you some time here so you can explain. I know you were explaining market structure. And when we left off with Larry, you were going from the aspect of a daily, a weekly, and bringing it down to the aspects of intraday. So wherever you'd like to go, let's do it.
First, I want to thank you for mentioning the book. What you don't know, Tommy, is that it has been published and translated now into 10 different languages around the world. Portuguese and Thai is coming out this year.
That's so cool, Joe.
It's been very successful. And I got lucky. I got to admit it, okay? I got lucky because I do leading indicators. The only way I think these markets are survivable today is with good leading indicators. I just don't think you can deal with them any other way.
And you were talking about you have an MACD. What is it? What did you do with it in order to basically skew it?
All right, let's go a little history. Gerald Appel did the MACD years ago.
Right.
All right, this is a long time ago, 30 years?
Yeah.
And what happened was that another guy, who's the guy that invented the, George Lane, right.
Okay.
No. Jake Bernstein put certain numbers to the MACD, Gerald Appel's MACD. Now, these certain numbers are the numbers that you need to use, and you need to have the right equation to get the right MACD. So, it's not like any MACD. You got to get the right MACD.
Right.
Now, okay, well, let's assume you got Jake's numbers and you got the right formula for the MACD. Those two things together.
Yeah.
Right. Now, what you do is you do some magic of math, which I'm not terribly good at, but what other people have done for me. And what they did was they made this a predictive thing, where you get the MACD, which used to be on the bottom of a chart, two squiggly lines. Now it's a single line, and it actually is out in front of market action, so that when you get across of that particular line, then it is either a buy or a sell signal based on a trend. In other words, it's a very sophisticated trend indicator.
Yes. Now,
it so happens that the algos are on this thing.
Okay.
So when you penetrate it, you're not only getting an indication of a trend move, but the algos go, okay, buy, or sell.
Now,
and
Joe,
it's amazing how these guys come into the market. They just come in droves.
Are they displacing it forward? Is that what they're doing?
Well, I don't know how they're doing it.
Okay.
How we do it is that we have this MACD, this 5 or 6 different charting packages where our indicators are on those things.
Yeah.
One of them is CG. And it is a single line, wavy line that's on a chart. When you get a penetration of this, it not only shows you a trend change, but it shows you where the algos are going to move. If you don't know where the algos are entering and exiting the market these days, and you're trying to trade, particularly intraday, you can lose everything. You just can lose all your money. It's that simple. In the previous section, I was talking to Larry about some of the games that the large traders play.
Yes.
Where they set loose predatory algorithms and they push the market down through this MACD predictor, creating sells so that they can flatten a short position if they believe they're wrong.
Sure.
I mean, this is the kind of thing that's going on all the time in the markets. And unless people have an idea of what's happening, they don't understand the market movement. And if you don't understand what's going on in these markets, I don't think you have much of a chance of survival. These markets are absolutely brutal. For a guy like you or me or Larry, the volatility is a good thing, but excess volatility is not a good thing for I'd say 95% of the people.
Yeah, there's no doubt. So let me ask you something. When you take your expansion contraction Fibonacci with the leading indicators, are you looking for the leading indicator first, or are you looking for the expansion contraction first?
Well, simultaneously.
Right. Okay.
You know, with leading indicator Fibonacci work, okay, you get buys and you get sells.
Yes.
Right? You get sell points, you get buy points. Now the trick is, do you want to be a buyer or do you want to be a seller? Because you can do either.
Right.
So then what you do is you look to the patterns, like double repo you mentioned, railroad track, and there's 4 others. Bread and butter is a real good one. Okay, so you look to those, and that gives you the context for the trade. Alternatively, you can look at the MACD predictor. Let's say it's on a 30 or a 60.
Yes.
You're above that. That indicates an uptrend. And so what you want to do is buy retracements. If you're below that, that indicates a downtrend. Therefore, you want to sell. You want to sell out expansion.
Oh, cool. I got it. Okay. Okay. Cool.
So you know, you got to use the leading indicator, but you got to use it right. You know, you can't just say, okay, it's a leading indicator.
No, that explained a lot. No, I'm with you. That's cool, man. Okay, so because that's giving you what we predict is the right side of the market, and then you're going to use the fib number to get you the expansion contraction off of that, whether it's you're buying or selling, right?
Exactly correct.
Right.
Now, what happens is that for those people that are listening, you know, I don't use all Fibonacci numbers. I've distilled it down to certain numbers, which you know, I refer to as the Napoli levels.
Right.
Things like confluence, et cetera.
That's right.
And these are more high probability places to act in the market. And if you want to drop your time frame to even a 5 or 1 minute chart, there's plenty of opportunities to trade. You just got to have some pretty good software to, you know, to keep up with the market. And you know what I'd like to do. You know, I mentioned all this horror of excess volatility and market structure, which is in the previous segment. Market structure, which is just hollowed out the market and made the market incredibly difficult to trade. But there's an answer to this, even for longer term traders, and I would like to mention that.
Let's do it.
Because I think your readers listeners might really benefit from that. So, what you can do, Tom, is you can take. I don't care if it's Microsoft. I don't care if it's the FANGs. I don't care what it is. You can do these calculations and get deep retracements and deep expansions.
Yes.
And when you get these numbers, even if you're against the trend, these numbers are going to create bounces and movements in the opposite direction. So what you can do, well, let's just say, where is Apple trading today? Around 114, 115, something like that?
I think it's running into, 122 maybe.
All right, so I know we just had a rally the last
exactly
couple of days.
right.
I was in that sucker at 105, right on its Napoli level. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, you can do calculations. And let's say these calculations say that Apple is to buy at 103 and it's a sell at 138.
Yes.
Those numbers are just off the top of my head.
No, I'm with you. Yeah.
I'm not looking at my charting software. All right. So you've got a buy number and you've got a sell number. What you do is you stick those numbers in the market or better orders, and you leave them there. Now, right now, I have got, in one of my large accounts, I have got about 18 orders. Normally, it's around 35 orders.
Okay.
And these orders have buys and sells in them. Now, when you look at the overnight session of the markets, and you see that there's a bid and an offer in the overnight market, a lot of times on the 30 or 35 stocks that I trade, that's me. When you look there, that's DiNapoli trying to buy or DiNapoli trying to sell. Those are my orders.
Right.
And I've been asked, I said, Joe, how do you have the confidence to just put an order in there? I mean, aren't you afraid? I'm not afraid at all. These are numbers that are very solid, high time frame level numbers. And, you know, I get up in the morning and I come in, I'll get no fills. Okay, it didn't cost me anything. Then I come in the morning and I got 1 or 2 fills, and generally I'm in a significant profit because it hits the number. I'm not the only one that's doing these numbers. There are some humongous traders that are looking at these numbers. they may do it a little bit differently. So it hits the numbers. Let's say it's Apple 103.
Sure.
There's a little bit of support down there. I'm buying, and maybe a couple of other people are buying, and it pushes the number up to, say, 106 or 105 or 104. And then what that does is it clicks off on a 20-minute chart, overnight chart. It clicks off the MACD predictor to the upside. Now the algos step in. Okay, so now we're up to 106 or 108. So if I come in the morning, I'm filled at 103. The market's at 106. If I wish to, I can put a stop below the 103, basically a break-even trade, and then I can have a profit. I can calculate a profit objective. This is a really good way for a guy who's a working stiff, who's going to work, and you can't sit there and monitor the market, to be able to get orders and buy and sell stuff. It works in gold. It'll even work on the S&P futures.
Folks, let me tell you something. It works on everything. And Joe, there's no doubt, okay? So picture something for a second, folks, because what Joe's talking about, right, is so cool, because in the marketplace, what I've found is this, Joe, right, is that your confluence levels are the only things that are telling you. It doesn't mean that they have to go there. But what we're talking about, folks, is that, you're going to get pullbacks, period. I mean, that at some point. So this is an advanced number that you know what the number is. That's what I love about those, Joe, is that you know what the number is before the fact. And as you said, hey, listen, man, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't get them. But when you do get them, more than likely, at the very beginning of that, you are going to get that pop. I mean, and you know what I've seen, Joe, which is really cool? With the volatility, sometimes is vicious, there's no doubt. But what has happened is that most of these numbers hit much faster, for sure, when we get that volatility. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why this stuff, that's why the book has been published in all these different languages,
sure.
Because it gives a person a way to actually participate in a market that should not exist. Larry, Tommy, this thing, we shouldn't have markets like this. This is bad for the country. It's bad for our economy. It's good for you. It's good for me. It's good for Larry.
But what you're really saying is that the computers are making all the money, right? I agree. There's no doubt.
Well, the computers, not only are they making all the money, they're making the market unstable.
Yeah.
And this market is an equity raising function. It's not for you and I to play games and buy houses. I mean, that's not the purpose of equity markets. We're talking about jobs. We're talking about,
sure.
America here.
The economy. Yeah. No doubt.
And so a few people, including the exchanges, can make a ton of money. We've let this thing get out of hand, completely out of hand, and one day it's going to be stopped. We have had these V bottoms now occurring constantly since 2009.
Yes.
They used to occur once or twice a year. Now they're occurring every few months, and the computers are responsible for it. So we can make our money, but it's just too hard on other people, and I wish that we could do something about it. And as I said in the previous section, Lee Cooperman has been out front, and he's got billions, and if he can't do anything about it, Joe DiNapoli's not going to be able to do anything about it. But it's nice to have the microphone. I thank you so much, for letting me expose this, because it at least alerts people to where the problems lie. Right.
No doubt. And, folks, when I said I forgot, let's see. So your website, folks, Joe, it's new.fibnodes.com, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's, people will find me. Fibtrader.com is probably the easiest way. It gets forwarded to my website, FIBTRADER.com. But and I appreciate you mentioning it, but that's not really why I came on here, Tommy.
Oh, I know that. No, I know that. But guess what? I want people to get educated. So, bottom line.
I do too. Yeah. I really do. I want people to understand what's going on. And when the last segment ended, I was talking about China, and I was talking about the impact of China.
Yes.
And the elections. And
so let's do that. We have 8 minutes. We have 8 minutes left, Joe.
All right. Okay, so I was trying to impress on people what a competitive challenge China is. I've been doing presentations over there for 15 years.
Yes.
And these people, they're a dead sharp. And it's not about whether they're cheating or not. It's about just straight competition and the efficiency of their governmental structure, far more efficient than ours. And for right up until about 2016, every single time I gave a presentation over there, Tommy, I looked at the facts and just told the truth. And I said, look, this is your century. This is what's happening. And then, and I just thought the supremacy of China was inevitable. I never thought that it was going to be challenged. And I have had a very significant position in China, a long position. And I took it out on ASHR, which is an ETF of if you like, the blue chip companies in China.
Okay.
So I had a very big position in that thing, and it wasn't acting real well, but I had this position, it was a long-term position. I had it for many years, and then Donald Trump happened, and when that happened, I started wondering whether there was actually a real challenge to China. And I stopped, and after I saw, this stuff about the trade war, et cetera, whether you agree with it or not, it has definitely slowed down the progression of China, which I thought was inevitable, but which I believe is not necessarily any longer. Now, relative to the elections, if former Vice President Biden gets in, I am going to be so long China that, I am going to be all over that thing. I am going to go, I have no position now. I'm completely flat, but I'm going to do everything I can to get a long position on at the right price. And ASHR, which hit 36.5 roughly yesterday.
Yes.
I expect that thing to go back up to 55. Where it was in 2008. I was in China on 2008. We were at a major XOP expansion in that thing, Fibonacci 1.618 expansion. And when we were up there, I was in China and I called for a top. We went from 55 down to the 20s. And then now we've climbed back up to 36. I get out of my position at 35.20, right around that area. And I do not, if Donald Trump gets back in, I do not want a long position on China. I will go short, no question about it. Donald Trump is vindictive. He will go after China. He will go after them in a big way. And so the most obvious play I have for the election, I have others, but the most obvious play I have for the election is a Biden win, long China, a Trump win, short China. That's the key.
Joe, isn't it amazing how fast they can build a building over there?
Are you kidding?
No. Listen, I'm like this whole Trump thing and the tariffs and all that. I import a lot of stuff from China. I'm building a lot of houses down here, so. This 26%, when they're saying that China pays for it, we're the ones paying $26,000 for every 100,000 that's coming in. So I've never seen building like that in my life, man. If you've never seen it, folks, it's phenomenal, man. It's like crazy.
I was just staying in Shangri-La, right there in Shanghai, right on the beautiful, beautiful river.
Yeah.
A few people haven't been to China. Oh my God, that country is just with our money. They have built an infrastructure. They're not gonna stop with eating our lunch. They're gonna eat our breakfast, and when they got our breakfast, they're coming after dinner. People got to travel. They don't realize.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
They don't realize.
Yeah.
Now we talk about building. I'm sitting in the in the top floor, Shangri-La, and these folks are putting up a building down below me, and they are working 24/7. They never stop, and I never saw a building go up so fast.
I know.
It is unbelievable.
They
don't have to worry about permits. They don't have to worry about any of this stuff.
Right.
They just, when they build, and it's done. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. It really is, man.
All right, now, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I want to talk about some obvious things from the election, and we can talk about some of the things that aren't so obvious if you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you're far more knowledgeable about playing gold than I am. Okay, I know this is your baby. You've been fooling with it for years. I have no idea what your position is.
Yep.
We haven't talked about this, which makes it much better for a radio show.
Sure.
So I want to tell you what I think about gold.
Here, 1 second. Hey, Al, just don't put the next commercials on either, okay? Al, you hear me? Okay, good. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
All right. So Donald Trump is spending money, like Reagan said, we don't want to make a drunken sailor look bad, but Donald Trump is spending money, like 6 drunken sailors. Unbelievable. What we're doing to the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve, creating money, is absolutely unbelievable, right? It is just beyond anything you can imagine. So, all right, so what's that? That's bullish for gold. I am so bullish gold. I mean, I am not a gold trader.
Right.
I have not had long-term positions in gold since the 80s.
Right.
I mean, I haven't had them, right? But now with the way Trump is printing money and his attitude toward debt, then I have got to think on a fundamental, okay, now this is important, on a fundamental basis, I got to believe gold is going through the roof. Now, let's talk about former Vice President Biden. He's even more so. So Trump is absolutely insane with the amount of money that is going out, and times 2 with Biden. I mean, the money that the Democrats are going to print if they get into office, and again, I'm not being critical of anybody, lots of reasons to vote for a president. I'm talking economics, I'm talking markets. So I want to be super long gold, and I want to be even longer if Biden gets in.
Yeah, so, it's gonna be interesting. So there's no doubt we went from, like, if we take a look at like when long-term capital went south, folks, okay, which is a monster deal. Joe was around. We were all around at that point. That was only about $4 billion. Billion. Think about that. We don't even $4 billion. That's like pocket change to these companies now. So now we're into the trillions. And what's intriguing, Joe, is that everything is out the window, man, because the bottom line is that we're into the trillions. And I'm trying to figure out right now, I'm saying to myself, well, if they don't get a stimulus package going now, I suspect the Republicans are going to turn around and if Biden gets in and say, well, they're conservative again. So it's going to be wild watching it, right? As to how the bread's going to go in. But I think what you're saying in the larger context, which I believe, everything has changed, man. I mean, there's no reason that the Fed is not going to keep pumping money in for every time anything happens in the economy going forward.
Yeah, and it's extremely dangerous. Now, let's talk about if the Democrats get in and they also win the Senate. Just forget about it. We're going down the road of Zimbabwe.
Yeah, you better have some. You better have some gold.
This is serious stuff.
Right.
If people vote that way, what they're going to get is they're going to end up with the potential of us losing currency status, world currency status, and I mean, you just cannot print money into oblivion. It's impossible. So if we start down that road in 6 months or a year or 2 years, we lose reserve currency status. America will never be the same again. You're going to think that $15 for a half a gallon of milk is a buy, and it's going to decimate the poor. And the way they're going to solve the problem is to print more money. And to print more money, it's going to make the problem worse. And it's going to be absolute chaos. I would expect serious rioting, more than we have now. So, I mean, this is serious stuff. But speaking economically, okay, let's get back to gold. Now, that is a fundamental consideration. Let's talk about the technical consideration. Right now, chart 7, I sent Larry last night.
Okay.
Chart 7 on gold. We have a weekly sell on the MACD predictor.
Yeah.
In other words, the trend is down. Gold isn't acting right. Now, listeners go, well, what the hell does that mean, Joe? For Christ's sake, can you define not acting right? Yeah, well, not acting right is like it should go up. There's a buy signal, because there are daily buy signals, and there is also Fibonacci support levels. And when you get to those levels, you should see upward movement. You should see upward momentum, upward movement. You should see this market responding to what you and I are discussing right now. Okay, the fact that we could see gold at much higher levels. It ain't happening. It's not happening. Now, the last time I saw this, do you know a company called Luckin Coffee?
I do. I've been there.
I hear the smiles. All right, so that your listeners understand that we professionals, we're not always making money.
Yeah.
So Luckin Coffee is Chinese love coffee. You think they love tea? Well, they love coffee.
Yeah.
And Luckin Coffee came out and was an IPO, and I think it came out at 17, traded up to around 45, perfectly bounced around Fibonacci numbers from roughly 20 to 35. I made a ton of money in this thing, right? And I just was doing great. And it came down to a support level at about 25, 26. I bought a bunch of it, and I got busy and wasn't watching it too much. But out of the left corner of my eye, this thing was not acting well. In other words, it wasn't moving up when the market went up. It was just sort of sitting there, right?
Yes.
And I'm going, what the hell's wrong with this? Normally I've got thousands and thousands of dollars of profit in this thing as soon as I enter. And I wasn't getting the profit. So I was busy and I was looking elsewhere. And the next thing I know, they stopped trading in the mother. You couldn't sell it for anything.
Right.
I'm going, what the hell happened? Okay, so it was a fraud. Not uncommon in China.
Right.
So what happened was they stopped trading in this sucker. And I've got pot full of shares, and there's no out. There's just no out, and I'm down six figures. I won't tell you whether it was mid or high, but I'm down six figures on this thing. And how did what was my suspicion? How did I bring it up? Because Luckin Coffee was not trading well.
Right.
If your readers have the time, they should definitely read Reminiscences of a Stock Trader.
Yeah.
And he talks about tape reading, and I'm a pretty good tape reader. And basically, tape reading is just a matter of how does the market react to how does a stock react? When it goes up, when it should go up, does it go up? When it should go down, does it go down? All right. So what I'm saying, I don't think gold is going to stop trading in gold. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that price action in gold is not good, even though the fundamentals look great. So in my own portfolio, for the first time in probably 20 years, I had a very large position in gold. I got up to break even last Friday, and I got out of the 55% of it. Now, why did I get out of it? Well, because it wasn't acting well. And I intend to enter as soon as I get down to a level where I believe, this thing will support. And in chart number 7, which I sent Larry last night, I think you're going to put it on your website, I see pretty good support at around 1801 to 1829. I hope that's the futures. Anyway, I think it is the futures.
Yes.
But that's where support is, and there's another terrific amount of support down around just above 1700 Fibonacci support. I'm not saying the markets will get there. All I'm saying is that that's where I want to enter, and the reason that I get rid of half my position is because based on tape reading or based on what we call dynamic pressure, this thing's just not acting right, and I don't know why it's not acting right, and so that's why I eliminated a part of my position.
Yeah, one of the things that I actually love about gold is that it never seems to act right, Joe.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty funny how this works, man. Because they can move it around so quick. And so I basically combine that with the dollar and with the 10-year note when I'm looking at that. So it's intriguing because I'm looking like if the expansion on gold, it looks to me like 2,700 is really game. So we'll see where this shakes out. But I agree with you that fundamentally it should go there. And I also there's no doubt that it's like, okay, why hasn't it busted forward? But it's a small market, too. That's the real bottom line. I mean, you saw, like, J.P. Morgan's got fined 1 million times, not 1,000,000 times for basically, trying to control the market. Citigroup has, so. But I think longer basis, man, it's right what we're talking about. Is like, who would ever think that we're in the time of the age that, $3 trillion to put in the marketplace, we're going to put another $2 trillion more. And just as I said, can you believe what, when you go back to long-term capital, the world was going to end, and that was only over $4 billion, Is that weird?
It's funny. You mentioned J.P. Morgan. I got some nice settlement checks from them.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Totally.
Talk about, people need to understand, if they don't think this market's manipulated, you better start thinking again. I've been involved in this 50 years. Markets are manipulated. That's I go to these presentations, and whether it's a foreign currency markets or other large markets, I have people come up to me. Oh, it's a $3 trillion market. Nobody can manipulate that. Oh yeah. That's what you think.
Right.
Markets are manipulated. Newsflash. Get that through your head. When you get that through your head and you get some leading indicators, you're going to start making money. So J.P. Morgan, I got a nice settlement check from them. I forget what it was about, but it was a stock that they were playing games with. My first objective for gold is 2194. It's right on that chart I gave you.
Yep. Okay.
But actually, if this thing goes the way it's likely to go, I mean, the sky's the limit. 3, 4, 5,000 on gold. I don't think that's unreasonable at all. But I've got a question for you, Tommy. I have had some of my experts, there are certain Denapoli experts out there that teach the methods, et cetera.
Yes.
And they have said that because of cryptocurrencies, that gold has lost its status that it had in previous years. What do you think about that? Any comment on that?
Yeah, I don't buy that, because I don't buy the deal. So many people have lost so much money, man, whether through just their own losing their clip in crypto in general, that to me, you and I would be going into Las Vegas and going on the roulette table, which we wouldn't do outside of entertainment. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's
right.
It really, gold is gold, man. And the bottom line is that 10 tons of dirt. Picture a good gold mine, folks. A good gold mine is 10 tons of ore make 1 ounce of gold. Okay, that's pretty amazing. Hey, Joe, this was absolutely awesome. Folks, you can check out Joe at new.fibnodes.com and check out his website, DiNapoli Levels, outstanding book. Joe, this is awesome, man. I know my producer right now has your number for sure. We're going to get you on again. We'll have some fun, man. I really appreciate the education.
Well, we've had fun already, Tommy. It was great to talk to you and Larry again. You guys are good people.
Okay, man. Have a great one. Have a safe one.
All right.
Stay right there, folks. Come right back. We have the Dow Industrials right now up 18, NASDAQ flat, S&P's up 1. We got gold up 1940, silver up 42 cents. Come right back, folks.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab. Bam!
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metal sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, JDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Dow up 21, Nasdaq up 16, S&P's up 3. Let's go over to our man, Jose. He wants to be looking at Anico Eagle. What's going on, brother?
Hey, very interesting guest, Napoli. I didn't think anybody was more cynical than I was when it came to the market.
Yeah, there you go, man. Listen, I appreciate you holding, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, listen, Tom, AEM, Ma is very grateful for the profit so far. She's talking about knitting a pair of socks for you fellas. What size are you talking?
I think this thing can run to 85 to 89. Well, you're at 84.59. I mean, it wants to run to its high. 89.23, man.
Okay, any pullbacks here?
It looks like it's breaking topside today. It's going to have the volume, man. It's got to get 230,000. It only needs like 600,000. So it's.
I got you. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, man. Have a great one. Have a safe one. Market-wise out here, folks. Yeah, I know. What size socks? I don't know what size socks I got. I haven't worn socks in so long, man. You live in Florida for a while, folks, and all of a sudden, everything goes out the window. Dow's up 6. The market has NDX in particular. They're having a little tough time getting some juice. It's still kind of waiting from the acceleration that we had up on Monday. That's how this thing is kind of laying out. You know, if we look at the Qs, we had 79 million. Now, the 79 million was still going into 110, but that was still a good day. Went sideways yesterday with 64 million. You get 9 million right now. The real question is going to be is that, you know, the Amazon. So Amazon came out. They were running 60% higher than last year. But that being said, you know, this is the last day of it, and they're selling it down. Stay right there, folks. We got Think or Swim coming up next. And I'm Mr. Basil Chapman, Steve Rhodes, Dave. Wait, I'll be back this afternoon. Have a great one, folks, and have a safe one.